Welcome to Formula 1+1, where we'll break down the fastest sport on the planet into bite-sized episodes. Whether you're a seasoned fan fueled by passion or you've never watched a race in your life and just want to know what all the fuss is about, we welcome you. Get comfortable in your race seat because it's lights out and away we go. Welcome to episode 1. We'll be discussing the first race of the 2024 season, the Bahrain Grand Prix. I have Micaela with me today. Before we get started, I just wanted to say Micaela and her husband are the reason I got into F1. They tried a bunch of times before I finally caved and said, fine, I'll watch these fast cars go around this track over and over again. I always say they created a monster and now they're powerless to put it back inside like Pandora's box. Anyways, I'm grateful for Micaela and her husband really getting me into F1, and I'm so excited for her to be here with me today. Without further ado, here's Micaela.
Really excited to be here and talk about the things that I really like about F1.
I really appreciate you taking the time and hanging out with me. Do we get started?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about, I guess, the qualifiers first. So Max Verstappen taking P1 as expected, right?
I know, I just didn't feel so excited seeing that, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, I was kind of heartbroken seeing that Leclerc took the fastest lap in Q2, like faster than Verstappen's Q3 lap, but that's how she goes. There was a little bit of talk about Max Verstappen. Was he showing his full potential?
That's the thing. So sandbagging refers to the team or driver posting slower lap times to disguise their true potential. I think it's just their way of limiting other teams from figuring out a better strategy.
Messing with them. I get it. What else happened?
There's Hulkenberg.
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, no kidding.
Gunther Steiner is just like, oh!
I knew he was cheering from the stands. He was there.
Yeah? Was he cheering? Or was he like, screw you guys?
I like that.
Anyways, the new intro, how do we feel about that?
How do you feel about that?
I have strong feelings. Like, I just expected a lot more. Like, George Russell's intro pose, that was nothing compared to last year's. I was left wanting more.
And for me, like, I felt like for Perez, was this a replay from last year? Like, your grin is the same.
It's super boy band again, but I think I liked last year's better. But with Lewis pounding his fist.
Get us excited.
Anyways.
So you know what I also find kind of anticlimactic was the intro to the next Grand Prix by Oscar Piastri. I just didn't feel the excitement, and I could sense that he still felt a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know if this is F1's way of, just because the Australian Grand Prix might be introduced by Daniel Ricciardo and they just wanted to give him some room. I don't know.
Little Oscar Piastri gets a little bit of stardom. I missed that. I don't know, maybe I was watching onboards or something at the same time.
I don't know. I think I just appreciate a little bit more help maybe from F1 directors to
like
kind of like,
media professionals.
Yeah, so it's not really against Piastri. It's really more of who's directing this thing.
But he's an F1 driver, not an actor. So.
That's pretty good, I guess. So
not everyone is as good as Charles Leclerc in front of a camera.
True, or even just like Hamilton just staring at you, and that's all you need.
His smoldering eyes. I know. Okay, so let's get into the actual race.
Okay.
Now that we're done fangirling. So yeah, the start of the race, Max and Charles in the front row, and Max led the entire race.
Yeah, it was a lovely race, he said, and it was perfect.
Yeah, it really was perfect for them. I mean, like, that sandbagging, it was true, right? That car is a freaking rocket ship.
Toto said that Max was in a different galaxy.
It's not just the car. Like, obviously, he is just such an amazing driver when you compare him to Perez. Like, I'm happy for Perez getting second because, like, that guy is fighting for his seat right now, right?
I can't imagine the stress that he is in right now, even from the start. Like when he was in 5, I'm like, oh my goodness, you gotta get it to second. That's it. That's your only goal.
Like within, I think, the first lap, he already overtook Sainz. So yeah, and Sainz is another one. He's fighting too, right? Like he's out of a seat at the end of the season, so he's looking to show his capabilities.
Like to all the teams. Like I get it. For Perez, it's like I gotta go stay in Red Bull, but I feel feel like for Sainz, it's like my resume is out for all of these teams. Well, maybe not all teams, but the teams that could fit
maybe
him.
Not maybe not Haas.
That's true. But you know, like the front running teams.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, where would he even go? Like, that's a whole nother episode.
No,
but
yes.
Yeah, it's wild with the change with DRS starting in lap 2 already. That made it interesting.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you start a race and then you're in lap 2 and you're like, go.
I like it. Like, it provides more battles. People aren't pulling out ahead further, right? So, I don't know. There were a lot of good driver battles out there.
Yes.
Not for first, but within teams themselves, there were driver battles like Ferrari.
There's quite a few for Ferrari and also some with, I got to get this right, Visa Cash App RB.
Yeah, I think it's Visa Cash App RB.
So that's...
I don't know. I'm still thinking AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso.
Yeah, I like those names. Make it simple. But anyway, it's the previous AlphaTauri between Ricciardo and Tsunoda.
Yeah, so they made Yuki give Danny the place, and
they were like asking him, how was that for Danny to overtake you? And he was like, no, he did not overtake. There was just an open space for him to go.
Right, yeah. Like, he didn't overtake him. Yuki gave him the place. There's a big difference. Oh, man, he was not happy.
No.
Like, in the cool-down lap, he lunged into Danny, and Danny was, like, so pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I know Yuki is kind of known for his temper, and I know from the beginning when he was still just starting that was something that the team principal was working with him in Italy, but you can't get that out of him. He does have a temper.
He's just super young too. Like, I mean, maybe he's not that young anymore, but I just always think of him as a little baby and you gotta protect him.
I agree with you. But I was also wondering while I was watching that, who is the main driver for RB?
I think it's Danny.
Is it? But if you think about it, it was Yuki and then Nick DeVries and then Danny came in, and so...
Yeah. I think it's Danny still because he's Christian Horner's favorite. Like, even when his daughter asked him who his favorite driver was, he said it was Danny, even though Max is winning him championships.
I guess so, but I don't know. I just feel that they need to clarify that too. But.
Yeah. I don't know. Do they need to? Because so many teams say there's no number one driver.
I don't know about that.
Well, Red Bull, there's obviously one, but, like, I don't know.
Like, for Mercedes, like, it's got to be Hamilton as the main. I don't know.
Okay,
maybe
fine.
This is just me.
Fine. Everybody knows Lewis is the number one in there too, but maybe not this season though.
Oh, yeah,
that's true. There, but that's exciting. But anyways, sorry. Getting back to Yuki and Danny though, he called Yuki a helmet.
Oh, no. You know what? I didn't really know what that meant, and I'm not going to say what that is in here, but I'm like, you can say it if you like.
I just thought that it meant, like, he lacked a brain.
Yeah, like it's hollow inside. Yeah.
That's what I meant, but there's other thoughts on what that meant, and I'll let you guys figure it out. But
you can Google it.
Yeah, so then the fights between Charles and Sainz.
Yes, that had me, for lack of a better term, at the edge of my seat.
It was really... Monza-esque, like when they were fighting so hard. Yeah, no, it was good to see. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, I want to see people fighting for places, you know? I wish it was for first place, but if we can't get a fight for first place, let's see it for any other place, right?
Agreed. And also with what's happening with Carlos Sainz right now, like there's just this different layer of the story behind this on why he's really, really pushing it.
Mm-hmm. And I think the same with Leclerc. Okay, you guys made this decision to keep me for the long run, and I have to show you guys that you made the right decision, right? So
True.
I think it's going to be a phenomenal year for P2 downwards.
Works for Ferrari, I guess, regardless of what their reason is for each of them. It works for Ferrari.
Oh my God, like that just shows you how freaking good those two drivers are. Like, they can battle like that and both still finish the race. Like, how many times have we seen driver battles within a team and then, one or both of them don't end up finishing, right?
For those who can't see, I've been nodding my head head because I just agree so much with Jer.
Yeah, no, like I can't imagine Fred Vasseur in the pit just shitting his pants for the entire race. Well, not the entire race. Eventually, Sainz just took off, right? There's no way Charles was going to catch him. And it just kind of goes to show you, like, even with their brake issues, Sainz was able to handle it, right?
Yes, and I know that Charles was really struggling, but I didn't hear anything from the radio about Sainz struggling, and he just finished P3.
You know what? There was a lot of Charles Leclerc radio this race. They really concentrated on him, like Sky Sports.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it sounded like maybe Sainz wasn't having those problems. He just was able to freaking go with it, right? So
that speaks to what he's capable of and his skills and pushing.
He's an amazing driver. Like, I know there's a lot of haters. There's a lot of haters for every racer, but
I've always believed in him.
Yeah, he's going to find a good place and people that really appreciate his racecraft, and I'm excited to see what he does. What happened to Mercedes though? Like, I didn't really keep track of them.
I knew they were having some battery issues. Toto Wolff said that they lost 0.5 seconds per lap.
Okay, they were both having those issues. Like the same with Ferrari's brake issues. Both George and Lewis were having those battery
I only heard it from Hamilton's radio. I didn't know about George's, but then in the post-race, George said the same thing.
So it's kind of like the Charles and Carlos thing where, you know what, Lewis, we could hear all of Lewis's radio complaining about it, but George was experiencing the same issues. Obviously, George handled it, right?
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know where your mind's going here, but you know where mine is.
That is so wild. Oh my gosh.
So, but that's quite a 0.5 seconds per lap. That's quite significant.
It is.
I don't know if it was George's or Lewis's, but his chair started moving. And
right. I did hear Lewis say something about his seat was broken. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, in post-race, he was still positive. He was like, the car is reliable. And so a little bit of hesitation, but we know Lewis. It's just going to get better.
I don't know. I feel like Leclerc's the same way in that he's not going to talk too much shit to the media, but behind closed doors in their meetings, he'll have a lot more to say kind of thing, right?
That's very classy of them.
Yeah.
I like it.
What did we end up on the podium with? 2 Red Bulls and a Ferrari. I'm okay with that. I was cautiously optimistic for this season.
I mean, we kind of called it. We saw like the 20-second lap distance from Max Verstappen to whoever was on P2, and we're like, he's just going to stay there.
It's what it is.
Until the end. And later on in the race, knew that Perez sealed that too. So.
Yeah, and then they celebrated with some champagne and the very first podium of the season.
We all hoped for this grand, sparkling soap sud effect. It was really just them looking like they were just shaking bottles and nothing coming out of it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like somebody let all the carbonation out of their champagne bottle.
They didn't want that effect for this one, but I don't know. I hope there's somebody like an F1 media director that kind of noted that. So
yeah, I don't know. Like somebody was sabotaging their champagne showers, man.
So, but it could have been better. Like they were dry. It wasn't that hot, so I don't know anything with how that affected temperature or anything.
I don't know.
Anyway,
let's hope for more champagne spraying in the next race.
I don't know. That's iconic.
It's part of the celebration.
Yeah.
Like them spraying it down to the team.
Yeah.
Teams,
I think that's really...
It's like them sharing the joy of that podium, right? If they're barely getting wet. I don't know. Yeah, it was a little bit weird. Did they change the champagne or something?
No, I checked. Apparently, the Ferrari champagne people, I think the contract's until 2025, so it's still the same.
I love that you checked if they changed the champagne.
I had to. That's how important it is to me.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I guess we'll see in Saudi Arabia.
We'll see in a few days.
But that's kind of, I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts to add to that?
No, I just, it was good. I look forward to the champagne next time.
I love it. Okay, I hope you join me next week, or are you going to pawn it off to somebody else? We'll see.
We'll see.
But thank you so much, Micaela. And I know it takes time out of your schedule to get back into the season, so I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me and for believing that I could do this.
Oh my gosh.
So but I'll be happy to come back next time.
Oh, yay! Okay, I'm going to take that as a commitment. I have a recording. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care.
Take care, everyone.
And as the checkered flag waves for this episode, we thank you for tuning in. Whether you're listening from the grandstands or your living room couch, we appreciate you spending your valuable time with us. Tune in next time for more fun. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out. Catch you at the next pit stop.